Virgo, sun, moon, and rising sign. September is a money and love story. Big lift up energy for you and some change there as well. You're looking at this as well as a month in which you're kind of coming into more alignment. It's like you're trying to find that compass needle of true north. So I could call this love, money, and true north for you this month ahead. All of these things are coming into place in somewhat rare ways, including in an eclipse this month in your house of significant others, business partners, and love relationships. It can be challenging, but it also can be a major positive shift, depending on a few factors, which we'll talk about as we talk about your sky during the month of September. Before we get started, you're going to listen for your sun about purpose and career, your moon about home, body, safety, and your ascendant about everything I'm saying. It's really the story of you and the character of life, the steering wheel of your life. That's a steering wheel. And also, guess what? I'm going to tell you two things that are salesy. Just bear with me. One, my Sky Reader course starts the third week of September, the last weekend, I should say. And it's to be your own astrologer, time your best life, live classes, evergreen access to the content, live Q&A calls, lots of content, lots of high touch, homework, Facebook group, private. Check it out in the description box below. There's a description of the course link, and there's also get on the wait list for early bird discounts link. Enrollment cart will open sometime in the middle of September. Number two, if you want to check out my 2024 video just for your sign, it's 90 minutes long. That video came out last fall. It was for sale, but now I'm just dumping it into the marketplace for less than half price, because we still have 4 or 5 months left, and you might still want to get some value add $14 to get your sign, or get the bundle for $33, and you can listen for sun, moon, and rising, etc. Check it out under my more button under the description box. When I say description box, people go, where do you mean? Click the title, more, click down, scroll down. There's a description box under everybody's YouTube videos. You probably know that. You're a Virgo, and you know about the devil is in the details. Whew. Let's get started with the sky. We're going to start with the big planetary transits, Mars and Venus and Mercury, what they're up to. Then we're going to break it down in a chronological order, including the moons, the eclipse, and the events of the sky. So number one, Mars is making a big change in the heavens. Mars is moving his body into the sign of Cancer. And in your chart, Cancer has a particular place of existence as a Virgo rising sun or moon. It is your 11th house of friendships and allies and benefactors and greater gains from your career, including salary and perks and rewards, large social groups of belonging. Now, also some of the long range goals and dreams you prefer to imagine are true for your life. Well, basically, when Mars is here, he tends to prune, right? And he's moving into that part of your sky so that you can get more simple and fruitful, because you get rid of the dead wood September 4th to November 3rd. That's when he's traveling through your 11th house. And he comes back again, just so you know. He will exit there and then head off to Leo land, but then he retrogrades back. And in essence, you also get him in your 11th house of all of the things I described to you in your whole sign house, by the way. Once you go whole sign, you never go back. You get him in your 11th house from January 6th to April the 18th. In other words, you got a whole rare lot of Mars, like a lot of Mars in a rare way. I'll be doing a whole video on this. It's too important not to. But the gist of it for you is that in this first wave, all of September, all of October, more or less, right? September 4th to November 3rd. So all of September, all of October, you may lose a few friends, right? Friends may leave. You may have fights with them. You may cut them out of your life. They may cut out of your life, for various reasons. So a pruning, cutting, severing with certain friendships and circles of belonging. You may no longer want to stay with that club, that book club, that community that you belong to, that group that you belong to. You may exit those areas of life. Groups and friendships are there. But on the other hand, Mars is will, passion, and drive and action. And you are very passionate, action, and driven in the house of career gains. And the house of career gains coming off the 10th, feeding the 10th, means that you might be working really hard. With Jupiter, the bosses love you. With Jupiter in your 10th house right now, you're lucky in your career. You're expanding, you're growing, you have opportunity there. And Mars just means you might be driving to succeed. Minus is dip into Leo. Between December 6th and January 6th, you may go, I think I'll take a little time off, maybe travel or something, go on a vacay, December 6th to January 6th, or your company gives you a vacay. But I'm telling you, you are working hard and you are succeeding, because the hard work you do in the month of September pays off big time. I can't even emphasize it enough. There's going to be a glorious end of the month flow between Mars and Saturn, and that indicates your hard work and perseverance up levels your success to a new level of financial success or recognition in your work or career space. So hard work equals success, especially the last week or so of the month of September into early October. Now, one other thing about Mars up here is that Mars is the house of the elder sibling, and you may have arguments, fights, 11th house, one sibling above you, okay? Just like one older. You may be fighting, arguing, disagreeing, and having conflict with that sibling, but it can't be too bad because Mars is also sextiling your Virgo identity. And so if you have an elder sibling, you could find that is a little bit more strained than usual. But otherwise, I don't mind this transit for you at all. What about Venus, the goddess of love? She's in your money house this month. Oh my God, celebrate, cheer her on. August the 29th to September 22nd, Venus is saying, let's get you more rich, more money, more possessions, more beauty. Let's be able to spend money on things that make us feel happy, derive pleasure, get beautiful things while she's there. Buy the beautiful things, get more beautiful yourself, because she rules. The second house is your face, so your mouth, your nose, facial appearance is very much second house. So you're beautifying your facial appearance, your teeth, your veneers, your teeth are doing well. Great dental checkup, all thumbs up. Venus blesses your teeth. So her transit through your second house is those sorts of things. She's there August to 29th to September 22nd. Now, when she's here, you can have some luck around money and resources, and things should be okay. But there is a glitch. One little glitch around September 3rd. We'll go into more detail, but you'll bump into the South Node, and you may have some kind of financial disappointment or loss around September 3rd, give or take 3 days on either side. It's a small moment of time. You might have experienced it last November as well when she bumped into the South Node here in your second house, but it may also be about what you value. You see, your second house is what you possess and but what you value. And because she's flowing in a whole sign flow to Jupiter, it has a lot to do in your career house, Jupiter and Venus, with things to do with your work and career matters and some of your deeper values around work and money. And with the South Node, there may be a value assessment moment about what you're doing when you make money and what your values are, and are they in alignment? Otherwise, you just may have a bit of a money dip or disappointment, as you did last November, as she crosses the South Node in the early part of September. Otherwise, it's a great transit. After she leaves that part of your sky, she moves into a sign of her detriment. It's the sign of Scorpio. She'll be in your third house, and she'll be traveling there. Third house Scorpio, September 23rd to October 17th. Venus traveling here in a travel house can indicate pleasure travel, leisure travel is something you want to do. You might travel short distances for some reason, but you may also be very much about trying to find pleasure in your local neighborhood and environment and daily life. And she's like giving it to you the best she can, but she's under the weather in Scorpio. And there may be a muting of the way you feel. I'm not enjoying my everyday world, my neighbors, my neighborhood. I'm not having fun like I normally do here. On the upside, she will form a whole sign flow, and eventually in October, a flow to Saturn in the seventh house. That's really good for travel and connection to your significant other. And there may be sometime then, September 23rd to October 17th, some travel with you and the one you love that you're committed to. Venus in the third house. So in this context, you might have a lot of activity you have to do to be nice to your neighbors, to be friendly with your younger sibling, to be more social in your local environment. And yet you may not be feeling the vibe. It's almost like dutiful social life. You're exiled from the ninth house. You want to have meaning in your life, which will get to that. This is your true north month, coming home to your true self in surprising and shocking ways. But look for some social blahs coming through your sky when it comes to your social life, both online and in the real world. Maybe doing it, but not enjoying it as much. September 23rd to October 17th. Mercury is moving through Virgo September the 9th to the 26th after 2 months in Leo. Mercury is helping you look deeply at your self-sabotaging addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits for 2 whole months. And then by September 9th, he's finished with that story. And he's moving now into Libra on September the 9th, Virgo on September the 9th. And that's you, right? You're a Virgo sun. It's about your career, moon, home, and body. Or Virgo ascendant, everything about your life is getting mercurialized. Now, guys, you like this one because Mercury in dignity in the first house is in his joy, is powerful. And you could pretty well say you're on your A game September the 9th to the 26th regarding your ability to communicate, think, message, ideate, and be precise with the way you speak to your significant other, those people you live with in your 4th house, and your bosses and colleagues and coworkers 10th and 11th. You're on your precision, detailed, service-oriented A game. Clients, audience, marketplace, yes, you're on your game. A spouse, yes. People you live with, yes. 10th house career and 11th house career people, yes. So you've got this like communication savvy and superpowered strength, and you're going to use it because you always do yearly when Mercury moves through this part of your chart. But this is better and bigger and more important than it usually is because of a particular resourceful Earth trine that he's going to put into place for you during this later in the month. We're going to break that up later when we go to the dates of events, okay? And when Mercury moves away from your first house, then he moves into Libra. And that's, interestingly, a time where you're spending for things you want, buying, merchandising, marketing, and selling are activated. Mercury moving through Libra, September the 26th to October 14th. So the last part of September, you may be negotiating new contracts in your work environment for raises, promotions, or better situations in your benefits, and doing so successfully. Mercury in your 2nd house, you may also be working on what you need to sell or buy or market or merchandise. A lot of times we get facelift, we put all our stuff on Craigslist when Mercury moves through our 2nd house. We sell things, basically. Mercury in your 2nd house, you may be doing a lot of communicating in harmonious Libran speech with other people, using the power of speech and negotiating, communicating harmoniously way, especially when it comes to work boss people. And Mercury in the 2nd house transit, again, the 26th of September to middle of October. In your case, in this story, it could really highlight some features of what you wish to accomplish when it comes to your career success, because honestly, everything he's doing in your 2nd house is about your career only because he keeps talking to Jupiter in your 10th. So a lot of it is Jupiter Mercury, increasing your commercial success, negotiating on your own behalf, negotiating for yourself, making, like if you're unemployed as a Virgo, great. This is useful. September 26th to October 14th, new job. But if you're employed, everything, or work, or your own boss, everything gets a really nice commercial success glow up with a Mercury Jupiter trine. Now we're going to break the sky down into itty bits of time, right? So get a pen, get a paper. I talk fast. I'm not going to apologize for it. Slow me down on the playback speed. I'm giving you a lot of content in only a half an hour. All right. So bear with that. You got a playback, slow down, go for it. It's a little icon on the gear shift of your YouTube video. All right. September the 1st to the 3rd or so, Mars is clearing a fog of confusion and illusion and delusion about something about your marriage partner, business partner, audience, or marketplace. A 7th house fog, Neptune's retrograde, the fog has already been lifting, square from Mars in your 11th. Through the lens of an elder sibling, friend, benefactor, ally, or coworker, you square off with some 7th house clarity. A friend says, that guy you're with, he's gay. Or, that woman you're dating, I don't know, I'm going to make some stuff up, whatever, something that clears your uncertainty about somebody, something. It can be a business situation. It can be a love situation, but some Martian 11th house person is helping you clearly see something or know something you weren't sure about. And so if you're in a long-term existing love relationship, of course, you go through all kinds of things. This is not going to necessarily end your relationship, but there is a moment of tension around that relationship, and social groups or friendship circles coming up for you in a love story, in a relationship, September 1st to the 3rd. And or a difficult client situation and it impacts your revenue from your work, September 1st to the 3rd. September the 3rd, Venus is going to meet the South Node in your earnings house, money disappointment, money loss, just a day long. I talked about it briefly already. Then we move forward and we get into the energetics of the new moon in Virgo on the 4th of the month. Well, a new moon is a new beginning. You have it yearly. It's a reset button for who you are and who you want to be. A lot of that reset will involve how you reset yourself in context to your business clients, your business partners, and your significant other. You have a new beginning, and it's going to be a good one because Mercury will move into the place where the new moon was a few days later. And it really will feel to you like you're coming home to your true self, and you can express yourself with those other people in a new and more powerful way. New beginnings in how you communicate with your significant other, new beginnings in how you can eliminate addiction, self-undoing, and bad habits from your life as well. For the new moon occurs while Mercury is still in the 12th house. And it is his domain that he then goes into and organizes everything, organizes how you can stay off your addictions, organizes how you will communicate in the 6 months after the September 4th new moon with that significant partner in business or love or clients or audience. When September 6th and 7th roll around, we have 2 stories happening at once. We have Mercury still in Leo, your 12th house of the addictions and undoing, squaring Uranus. Shock and awe. You know, you never expect it with Uranus, but I teased you guys into a true north month, and Uranus is in the 9th house of the Dharma alignment, finding your compass of what you're here to do in this life. And the square from Mercury is something is having to be understood because you're in the 12th house. It could be an insight through a dream, a meditation, some quiet time alone, and you have a new understanding that surprises you about something that you're doing that's really not good for you, or a pattern or path or behavior that might not be ideal. Otherwise, on a practical note, because Uranus is in the house of foreign lands and Mercury's in the house of foreign shores, there may be a disruption or of a travel plan. There may be an unexpected travel disruption that throws your plans a kilter, especially if it involves long distance or foreign places. I know that I'm speaking on August 22nd, and I know that Air Canada is talking about a strike this September. I just heard about it today. That's a classic plans. Our travel plans are going to hell in a handbasket for some people who've already booked flights or something like that. What else can I say? That's just a short time, right? It's like it lasts around 6th and 7th of September, disruption. The sun is opposite Saturn, the sun in Virgo, your sign, near your sun, moon, and rising, opposite Saturn in the house of your significant other. Look, guys, this is a disconnect from the one you're with. You have something you want, and you're going to shine your bright light all over that. I've got a little light of mine. I'm going to let it shine. Yeah, why not? And sun is squaring Jupiter. You're putting a lot of your shiny light into your career, and you're going to be successful. And you got to look across the way at your significant other who's heavy, controlling, and grumpy, or has another agenda and it doesn't match yours. So there's a tension in a significant business or love relationship or client relationship that pops up in your life around September 6th and the 7th. When we move into that future time of the 11th to the 13th of the month, we see a opposition. We see a square between the sun shining the bright light in the sign of you, that little light you want to shine. No downsides except that sun in the first house can burn you out. So be careful for burnout, especially in career. You could have career burnout here, working too hard. But September 11th to the 13th, the sun squares Jupiter in your career house. That is your burnout moment. Watch out for conflicts with the boss, your agenda, your vitality, and your needs versus the success, expansion, growth that's happening in your career and work. You may overload yourself and come into one of those crash and burn moments professionally and physically around September 11th to the 13th. Yet at the very same time, Mercury will flow, your Lord, from Virgo in your house of you to Mars. And that is a contradictory vibe, because Mars is saying passionate directional focus around earnings and gains in your career flowing to Mercury. Your ideas are well received. Your detail orientation is creating success in your career, colleague, coworker gains story. You're having this good flow for commercial success, working hard, and your ideas being implemented. Mercury Mars energy, but at the same time, physically, you may be fried. So be careful for the combination of September 11th to the 13th being some professional burnout connected to also a great capacity to generate more gains in your career than normal, because your ideas, your attention to detail, and your mind is on fire. Now, Mercury is getting pretty close to that sun because he's going to go Kazemi. So also be careful September 13th to the 14th, no, 11th to the 13th for your mental burnout too. Mercury is getting close to combust the sun at this point. He is combust. So again, your mind is overly irradiated by the solar light of your professional ambition around the 11th to the 13th. Burnout is probably likely. On September 13th and 14th, Venus flows to to Jupiter. It's the best thing in the sky for the entire month. I love it. You should love it. We all should love it. It's a gorgeous glow up in your professional air energy, and Venus is flowing from the money house. Now, it could be an unexpected raise or a promotion around the middle of September. When I say the 13th, 14th, give it a few days before and after. You could get recognized. You get employee of the of the month. If you're self-employed, it doesn't matter. Your success professionally and financially are on the glow up of the century here, because not only do we have the trine between Venus and Jupiter in the 10th house, and you only get that once every 12 years, right? You also have Eros and Cupido asteroids activating this part of your sky at the same time. So you're not only succeeding, but it's vitalizing, passionate, exciting, and life-affirming success. You're enjoying your rise to power in your reputation, in your professional advancements, in your money and earning story. So glow with it and grow with it. You're having a blast in the middle of the month in that area of your chart, despite the burnout that may be hitting you a little bit before that, 11th to the 13th, 13th to the 15th. You see the rewards of all your efforts playing out. Now, the eclipse is on the 17th and the 18th. It really depends on your time zone. And that eclipse is going to occur in the sky in the sign of your 7th house of marriage, long-term committed love and business partners. It is on Neptune, and it's wedged between Saturn and Neptune, where you've had unrealistic expectations in your relationship, or your partner has had them of you. And Saturn is a controlling, constraining realism check. There is a combination of illuminating what was not properly seen by you about this relationship. And Saturn here can make your partner really controlling since last year. So you might have a new look at the relationship in the 6 months that follow the lunar eclipse. If your ascendant descendant is sitting around 25 degrees of the sign of Pisces, you may have a breakup. It's eclipsing in a full moon light of revelation and completion, a relationship that Neptune, you had rose-colored delusions about. Now, not everyone who's a Virgo rising in a long-term committed love story will lose a relationship, and it also could end a business partnership. But many of you will be challenged to see what the light of the full moon is showing you in that eclipse. And I'll be doing a deep dive into that eclipse. A lot will depend on your own natal chart and what the ruler of your 7th house is doing, for example, Jupiter in your natal sky. But for a lot of you, there's some turbulence coming through the sky. Because it's a North Node cycle that goes through 25 and 26, I often tell my clients the relationship has become root bound and needs a greater, bigger pot to grow in for it to thrive. So your long-term marriage and business partnerships and client relationships need a new pot to grow in for the relationship to survive. Otherwise, if it ends and a North Node transit through the marriage house happens, you might meet somebody new, or somebody new is why it ends. And a karmic destined new person coming into your life wouldn't really surprise me, honestly. So it's one of the things that could happen when Jupiter enters your 11th house next year. So this eclipse cycle takes all the way till the end of 2026 to wind completely down. Now, moving forward, we have September the 18th, when the eclipse is occurring, Mercury is now opposite Saturn, just as the sun was opposite Saturn. Sun was opposite Saturn back in the day of September 6th and 7th from your Virgo to your relationship house. And now Mercury is, again, tension in conversations, communications with a controlling or belabored or depressed or isolated or hardship burdened client, business partner, or partner in love. And you're communicating. You're the one. Go back to 6th, 7th of September and try to connect the dot to what you're saying or communicating or thinking about that relationship September the 18th during that eclipse. Because there's a lot going on between those two dates, and you might be thinking of ending it. You might be thinking about something or speaking something to the oppositional energy of some other person that feels like they are Saturnian, grumpy, old, dumpy, tired, bossy, controlling, authoritative energies, constraining energies. And you're like, wait, I'm a sun here, and then I'm a Mercury here. I've got to communicate my vital force energy outward, and you've got something to say, probably to your partner near that eclipse. So go September 17th, 18th, and 19th. Mercury is now, forget him. Now we're moving to September 19th and the 20th, and the sun is trining Uranus. Sun trine Uranus, happy surprises to do with your career or educational settings or foreign distance travel opportunities. Happy surprises are coming your way because the sun is in the house of you and Uranus is in your ninth Dharma house. But while that is occurring, we also note that the sun is also trining Pluto, creating a grand Earth trine in the sky, September 19th to the 23rd. Pluto's retrograded into your fifth house of sexuality and romance. Uranus is retrograde in your ninth house of foreign shores, foreign lands, academic settings, and visas, passports. And Mercury is in the sign of you. Now, houses 1, 5, and 9 are lit up in an Earth trine, and those are Dharma houses. That's your true north. That's where you're trying to align with your true calling. You may be surprised, Uranus. Pluto in the fifth house shines your natural skills and abilities into your eyeballs so you can see how good you are at things. But Ceres, the Grim Reaperess, is in your romance and sexuality house, and so is Pluto. And we see the tension in your relationship. So there's some romance, sexuality, maybe things going on, the revelations, insights, and understanding that you're having about love, romance, and sexuality could be very pertinent to the grand Earth trine. All Earth trines are about the real world, our bodies, our money, our resources as well. And what else can I tell you? If you have adult children, the shocking, surprising news will be a grandparent could happen here for sure. That's a possibility. And there may be unexpected surprises around travel opportunities to foreign places around the time of September 19th to the 23rd. But with Pluto engaged in the Earth trine from the fifth house retrograde, Pluto was retrograding through your fifth house for years, guys. So since 2008, you've been coming to terms with toxic love, toxic sexuality, forbidden love. I'm serious. I know a lot of Virgos who went through all kinds of stories of betrayal and fatal attractions and rapey type stories, even with that Pluto transit through that house. And there's something about going back and looking closer at it. Retrograde Pluto, Mercury, your mind, Uranus, shocking insight and awe. So you may be struck by a shocking aha about something to do with your life regarding sexuality and significant love relationships, or power and romance and love and sex, something like that. Oh, holy man. Moving on. On the September 22nd, Venus squares Pluto in your sexuality, love, romance house. It's a fatal attraction energy, but it's also Venus in the house of money, Pluto in the house of money, luck. But still, it could be that you're going to win some money. It's not the most obvious way to win money, according to my idea of it, but you never know, you may win some money. More likely, there's something going on here with Venus in the house of your resources and earnings, and also your voice, and Pluto in the house of children, and Pluto in the house of romantic lovers. Some kind of tension around money and romantic love or partner, or tension with you and a child regarding money matters in the sky, and a bit of a love of power of love struggle going on here around the 22nd of the month. All right, moving forward. There is another grand Earth trine coming right up after this one. This one is the 24th of September to the 26th, because Mercury now fills in where the sun was, and we have another one, exactly the same place. Houses 9, 5, and 1, but Mercury is the messenger, the ideator, communicator, and the mind, and you are having ideas and you're communicating things around love, children, romance, sexuality, and around the deeper meanings of your life. And maybe some surprising revelations coming through the ninth house can be about matters to do with father and father figures in your life as well. And maybe your connection to those ahas and things to do with love and romance. And, sometimes it's simple. Maybe father left home when I was 1 and I've never felt like I could love myself properly, or whatever, those kinds of stories. It's a tough one to parse because the ninth house is not the easiest connection point to what I'm seeing. So, higher educational settings are the ninth house. You may have some kind of communication from a higher educational setting, a book publishing deal, something to do with a visa, passport, or a legal matter coming through the sky in a positive way. Again, around the 24th to 26th of the month, a crow just cawed and said on my branch, "Hi there," for you at this very moment, guys. A beautiful, beautiful crow, big guy and very well groomed. And finally, yes, his nails are clipped. Finally, on September the 29th, all of your hard work starting to show up as worthwhile. Saturn is moving retrograde through your 7th house of significant client, audience, and marketplace relations, and your significant other legal contracts and business agreements, while Mars is flowing to Saturn. They're moving toward each other from your 11th house of career gains. And so for some of you, it's looking like all the passion and work you put into that career gains of the 11th, you're working hard. I'm not going to lie. You're doing lots of perseverance here around the 29th of the month, give or take a week before and after. But it always pays off in that trine energy as extra goodness. If you're having difficulty with a significant marriage type partner, Saturn, it could be some support from an elder sibling or a friend to help smooth the way, or you and a significant love relationship person may engage in some social activities that help provide more harmony in that relationship by gathering yourself together with groups of friends and doing things with groups of friends around the 29th of the month, give or take a week before and after. Now, on the 29th of the month, Mercury joins the sun at 6 degrees of Libra. Mercury conjoining the sun at 6 degrees of Libra on the south node, the same place Venus sat back in the day on September 3rd, is important. There's something going on to do with news, information, or ideas connected to career, connected to destiny, south node, because this Mercury conjunction can bring you insights and downloads about money, earnings, and savings, and career matters, the flow to Jupiter. It can be a new beginning and a reset in how you handle your spending, your savings, and your finances. And it will show you the way over the 6 weeks that follow. However, just like with Venus on this part of your sky, September the 3rd, September the 29th could be a financial dip. Mercury, though, would be because you had to spend some money. All right. So spending some money or to buy something could dent your money a little bit around the 29th. However, this Cazimi is sextiling Venus in the house of home. And that could mean it's a spending for something to do with your home that's strategic and necessary, all right? Or a change in your home that's strategic and necessary, that's going to allow for an expenditure that it will serve the greater good over the 6 weeks that follow. Okay, that's about all I've got for you. I hope that is useful information for you during the month of September. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for notifications. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate that. And if you want to get more content from me, check out my Patreon community for private meetings and classes I teach on things that I don't do here. Check out also everything in my description box is for sale, including my freebies. I have lots of things I give away. Just scroll down through the bottom of that description box and grab some free giveaways from me, classes, resources, like there's stuff down there. Thanks, guys. Enjoy your ride, Virgo. It's an interesting month. It's an interesting month ahead. Ciao, ciao.